channel. So today I have a video which I have been meaning to do for so long. It's definitely my most requested video that I haven't yet done, and it's a video about all the Paris Hilton perfumes. And the thing is, here in the UK I have never seen a Paris Hilton perfume out, like in a shop where you can smell it. I've never seen a tester out. I've only ever seen it online, and there it's limited websites, and I've been messaging them on Instagram and everything and never had a response. So I've basically just bit the bullet and I've ordered every single one online. It's cost me a small fortune, but this is how much I love you guys. I literally have every one that she's done, that she has. I think there were a couple that were over and discontinued, but I've got every one I could. And as you can see, a little bit of different location today. I'm at my mum's house for Christmas, and we have a little friend with us. Hello, this is Pearl. She's come to help with the video today. She's a chinchilla Persian. She's about to turn 2, aren't you, Pearl? And I don't think she likes my ring light very much. But I'll leave the link below because I have made a little Instagram page for her. You gonna help? What do you think of Paris Hilton? You like her perfumes, Pearl? Not interested. So if you're new here, then hello and welcome. We're all about perfumes. I have hundreds of different perfume videos, so do check them all out. And if you're a regular who hasn't subscribed yet, then do hit that subscribe button and show your support. You know I really appreciate it. And as always, I will leave links down below to where you can get these online in the UK, Europe and the US. So Paris Hilton is someone who I have always followed, and I think in more recent years I'd say really admired. You know, I watched The Simple Life when I was a teenager, and this whole sort of airhead image that she portrayed, and that sort of invention of this famous for being famous, and I think she invented the selfie, and you know, she really was the first person that like built a brand based on her personality, not based on anything in particular. But in more recent years, it's become really apparent that she's actually a really smart and really motivated businesswoman. She has this huge multi-million pound empire, like hundreds of millions of pounds of sales every year. And I watched her most recent documentary on YouTube, which was really interesting. I'd really recommend it if you haven't seen it. And she is known for her perfumes because she has so many and they're so successful. She has these big launches. It seems to be sort of every year a new one comes out. So I have them all here laid out, and I'm going to try and do them in chronological order starting from the beginning. I know she's done a couple of men's ones. I didn't order them. I've just ordered all the women's. So I think her first one was literally just called Paris Hilton by Paris Hilton. I have it here. It comes in this pink stripy packaging, and it's this tall bottle. I recognise this bottle, you know, it's been around 2005 this came out, so we're talking 15 years. So let's see what it smells like. So to me that smells like a classic fresh fruity floral, very fresh. I get quite a lot of melon in there. It's very light. It reminds me quite a lot of Ralph from Ralph Lauren. I know there's some fresh apple in here as well. Very, very light. Really reminds me of Ralph from Ralph Lauren. And I think that was around that similar time as well, when I had Ralph from Ralph Lauren in the early 2000s. Just very, very fresh, melony, light, inoffensive, everyday perfume. It says it's an eau de parfum. I have to say it's lasting quite well on me. Like, it's not disappeared straight away. I was worried it might be like a body spray or something and just be really, you know, with it being her first one, I wonder how much involvement she even had in it. You know, it was probably some perfume manufacturer offered her the deal, and you know, I think as it's got through time, she's had more and more influence on them probably. That's just my assumption. But yeah, it's a nice fresh apple. It's that just got out the shower, that fresh feeling, definitely. It does smell more like a body spray type smell than a perfume smell to me. Not because of the strength or anything, just cause, yeah, it's so fresh. But it is sticking around. I'm starting to get some of the white florals. So I think in terms of longevity, considering these are all really quite affordable, I think this was maybe like £13 or something like that. If you want something just fresh and simple, and this is quite good for like handbag size, seems quite durable, it wouldn't break. This is just a nice melon. So she also then released a sheer version of that, Paris Hilton sheer. In the case around this, she has her really short hair. I remember when she cut her hair short, there was a period of time where that was very fashionable. I remember Victoria Beckham had that really short cut as well. So this one, a little bit confusing in that it comes in a very similar bottle. It looks exactly the same. I noticed this is an eau de toilette rather than an eau de parfum, so I'm guessing this is a lighter version of the original Paris Hilton by Paris Hilton. It does have different fragrance notes in it, so we're gonna see what it smells like, Pearl. Oh, okay, so it smells different. It smells a bit more alcohol-y, a bit more synthetic-y, and it has faded quite quickly. It's a little bit more green, a little bit more floral. I actually don't like that smell. It smells almost a bit peppery. Definitely much prefer the original to the sheer version. And then also in 2005, she released Just Me. So this one is a bit sweeter than the others. You've got raspberry in here, and I think that's reflected in the branding. She has her red dress on. It's that red fruity smell, but it's also quite floral. There's violets and rose in here. This smells a bit more romantic, a bit more like pretty outside in the garden, like she is in the pictures. Really, I think the branding really marries with the smell here. It's definitely everyday, but it's much more prettier than the original, which was the Paris Hilton one, which was fresh and almost something you could wear like if you wanted something quite not necessarily overly feminine, just fresh, citrusy, melony, whereas this one is very, very feminine. I can imagine someone wearing this like a young teen or something, you know, My First Perfume, that sort of fruity, floral, girly smell. It even is in those sort of Barbie colours. So next year, 2006, she releases Heiress, which is probably her most well-known fragrance. So Heiress, we have original Heiress. It comes in this bottle which has this sort of sticker on the back which gives it this shiny effect inside. This is probably the fragrance that she's most known for, you know, the name Heiress. I find it quite a sickly bubblegum, passion fruit. I'm not a huge fan, I have to say. I dislike bubblegum, I don't really like it. But it does smell just like the limited edition that she brought out, the red blingy one. She then later released these limited edition versions of it. So Heiress Bling, I could get my hands on. It comes in this red sparkly bottle, and it looks like it's very similar smell to the original. I'm not sure if it's exactly the same, but it seems to have those same main notes of passion fruit, champagne, and I have to say it is very strong, like it's good, strong, peachy smell. It's almost a bit like bubblegummy, like a peach bubblegum or a passion fruit bubblegum. It's sweet, it's intense, and I know that this one does sell quite well still. I think, like, I do see it popping up from time to time online and people talking about it, because the Heiress one does seem to be the one that people associate with the Paris Hilton fragrances, and that has that longevity and lasting power, which is really good compared to how cheap it is. To me, this is, I actually dislike bubblegum. I hate the smell of bubblegum. So to me, this is too much like that. I like my fruity smells, but not like this. This is like a sweet shop fruity smell. So I can see why it's successful, but it's not for me. And the bottle is pretty cool. And then 10 years after her first fragrances came out, she released this 10-year anniversary edition that comes in this all silvery sparkly bottle, celebrating 10 years of fragrances. This one smells kind of similar. It's not as much of the bubblegum, it has more floral feel to it. It has quite a lot of freesia in, lily of the valley as well. So this one feels like Definitely the most floral of all the ones we've had so far, those white florals, but it's not a tuberose jasmine, it's a lily of the valley, it's freesia, there's some mimosa in here, and then it does have a little bit of red apple in, but it's more floral, I would say. Quite different to the red version. So going back to 2007, her next perfume was Can Can. Here I remember she has her fringe, I remember when she cut the fringe. And this one has this sort of burlesque Moulin Rouge type vibe to it, which was of course very cool back then. So it's quite a simple bottle with a feather on. So this is definitely the sexiest of all the ones we've had so far. It feels more like that Moulin Rouge sexy nighttime smell. She's put some amber in here and some nice black currant. You guys know I love my black currant. Nectarine, so it's fruity, but it's got quite a lot of warm, sexy amber in. So this one feels definitely the most grown up. It feels like the kind of thing that could come out today is this sort of typical celebrity fragrance, that sort of fruity, warm smell. This is the kind of thing I expected from the Paris Hilton fragrances, and I think this is probably my favorite so far. It's definitely the one I would probably wear out of all of these so far. A few years later, she brought out Can Can Burlesque, a sort of new edition of it. So this comes in a bottle with slight pink on it, and it has a little feather chain there. So again, this is fruity and sweet. It's relatively similar to original Can Can. I'd say it's perhaps just a little bit more floral. We've got some orchid in here. It's a bit prettier. It's raspberry and nectarine rather than the black currant. So this I'd say is slightly more innocent, slightly more daytime compared to original Can Can. It's pink, whereas Can Can was red, you know, so it's like still a bit more sweeter and sexier than her other ones so far, but not as much so as Can Can was. So next we have Fairy Dust, which comes in this very unique bottle. I love the branding. It's so early 2000s with her like crop top and everything. It's very stereotypical Paris Hilton of that age. And I like the fairy theme. This one is a floral smell. I get quite a lot of musky gardenia, musky patchouli. There's some lotus here. It's quite a traditional smell, I'd say. I wouldn't describe this as a modern scent. It's more like a traditional floral smell. It's not what I expected from Paris Hilton at all. The projection and longevity was quite good. This was one of the first I tried because it's, you know, I love the branding and stuff. It's definitely not the kind of smell that we see released in the 2020s, and I can imagine this, it kind of reminds me a bit of Giorgio Armani Beverly Hills. It's that type of thing. So the brown liquid does reflect the fact that it is, often these brown liquid ones tend to be like a heavier floral. It is like more old-fashioned smell. So her next release was Siren. I had to get this off eBay, half full. And this has the cool branding of this sort of mermaid Paris sat on a rock. Again, so 2000s. This one is a warm apricot vanilla. You got some peach, some frangipani, but mainly it's vanilla-y apricot. This one is a nice warm smell. Feels quite comforting, quite homely. Not overly strong, but not weak, sort of medium level. I do think the bottle is a little bit old-fashioned style. It wouldn't be what I would choose, but a good sort of everyday peach, kind of like a Hugo Boss Private Accord style. So the next one she came out with was Tease, which comes in a totally new, different bottle, this purple bottle. I thought because it's purple, this was gonna be like berries or something. It's actually quite tuberosy. It's a floral smell. I get quite a lot of frangipani in here as well, and red apple is back. So this is, these past couple of ones, she seems to have gone through quite a floral phase. Again, I don't think this is a particularly modern smell, but I can imagine, you know, if you love it, then this is a very affordable way to get a sort of simple tuberose, you know, very affordable tuberose. The longer I wore it, the more the tuberose came out and dominated. So it was quite good for lasting with the tuberose. But yeah, it's basically a tuberose perfume is what I'm saying. So next one was Dazzle, which comes in this quite cool bottle. This was 2012. This one is kind of like a cherry sweet shop smell. So it's like cherries, red apples back again, vanilla. It's kind of like going into a sweet shop and smelling the cherry sweets, basically. Sweet cherry. Quite stereotypical smell. I think it's gone back to that more like Barbie smell like the Just Me fragrance was. Very young. You've got, you know, your pink Swarovskis around the lid and everything. So the vibe of this to me is very young, and I think in the picture she looks really young as well. It's sort of everyday for a cherry lover. So the next one was With Love, which comes in this deep dark black bottle. I thought this, you know, given the black bottle was going to be really heavy, it's actually got quite a lot of green apple in, and kiwi. Kiwi, very unusual in fragrances. You don't get many kiwi smells, but it does really come through with this one. A little bit of the Lily of the Valley in here as well that she's used before, but predominantly kiwi, green apple, Lily of the Valley. Think of like a DKNY green apple type smell. Fresh, light, daytime. I don't think the black bottle is right for this. I would have given this more a daytime type look. So we now move on to a phase of the Rush perfumes. Not all of them were available to me, but the first one I have is Gold Rush. So she has a whole series which come in these bottles that are like an evening gown. This one I like. It's a very pretty nectarine. It's light and fruity. There's a bit of rose in there and also a bit of praline, but the main notes I get is nectarine. I like nectarine. It reminds me a bit of Jimmy Choo Blossom. It's that type of smell. This is definitely, I think this is my favorite so far. It's very wearable. It smells like my Jimmy Choo Blossom. So yeah, definitely my favourite so far. I wouldn't describe it, you know, this gold evening gown. I would expect something more nighttime. I'd say this is more daytime, everyday, someone who likes that fresh fruity nectarine smell. So next we have Rosé Rush. I think this is definitely my favourite bottle with this pink glitter on, very glamorous. Definitely very cool standout bottle. This is a pretty rose with lychee. So it kind of reminds me a bit of the Chloe fragrances, though it has some papaya in, which adds a sort of tropical vibe, but I'm getting that lychee and rose. Again, more daytime, more fresh. It's having that rose in there makes it more floral, so perhaps it's a little bit more sort of womanly and feminine, but I think it's quite a classy smell as well with the rose coming through, you know, that sort of Chloe vibe. I think if you were wearing this, people wouldn't guess that it was Paris Hilton, if that makes sense. And again, the bottle and the smell don't necessarily marry up, you know. The smell is quite simple and pretty and delicate, whereas the bottle's obviously very blingy. This is the packaging, by the way. It's like super, super blingy. We then have Platinum Rush, which comes in this silver sparkly bottle, silver sparkly packaging. Again, this is quite tropical. Mango is the main note here, so it feels very like holiday, vacation vibes. There's apple, red apple again, and pear. Very fresh, bit of magnolia. I would wear this on a holiday or on a very hot day where I just wanted something fun and tropical. I probably wouldn't wear it to an evening occasion like this dress is, but it's nice, and I think I like all of these in this Rush range. I think they're all quite modern, fruity fragrances. And then finally, the release that came out just last year called Electrify. So kind of, I guess I know now she's like, I think she's the highest paid female DJ in the world. You know, she's into this sort of club vibe now. So I think maybe it's electro, like electronics, electro music, that type of thing that she's going for with the name. So this one is quite a modern smell. We've got coconut in. Again, we have red apple, we have some rose, we have poppy. It feels very much like a daytime fun smell, not taking itself too seriously. Bit of vanilla. It's fairly generic, like it's not super memorable to me. It's just nice, everyday, fruity floral, like going back to the Just Me type vibe. So I think of my favourites of all of these is the Rush range. Those tropical notes are my personal favourite, but she really does have quite a variety of different fruits and different florals, and then that one ambery one, that one sexy one, but there's nothing heavy, there's nothing oriental or aromatic here. It is, as you'd expect probably from Paris Hilton, all quite fun and light-hearted and fruity. So guys, there's so many here. Let me know which is your favourite, which of the ones have you tried, and do you wear any of them? I know so many people swear by them and keep repurchasing particular ones, and it's their signature scent. So let me know down below what your thoughts are. And I'm sure she'll be releasing a new one soon, so I'll be reviewing that for you as well. But that's it guys, so thanks so much for watching as always, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!